Hi, this is Monica Ibarra. I want to talk about motherhood today. Motherhood is extremely important. However, most of us were not trained how to be the mothers that God has intended us for us to be. Motherhood is so important because we are the womb, the spiritual womb in which produces life and greatness through those that we can impact. And our children are our first ministry, our first attention, and many times with the world that we live in, it has gotten out of order. So we're going to talk about some things that are really important, such as don't play favorites with your children. If you discipline one child, you must discipline the other. If you Sometimes it's easier to not discipline the youngest. They smell better. They're easier to dress. You can put whatever you want on and they won't have a fuss. Most children, anyway. You can feed them easier, whatever the case may be. There are some kids who are more difficult. They will kick and scream all the way through discipline. However, it is important to realize that if you discipline one and you don't discipline the other one for doing something wrong, the children will notice. Sibling rivalry will occur. So don't play favorites. Make sure that each one knows that each will be corrected according to what is done, and you will follow through with that which you promise. Prioritize. We must make sure that we prioritize our time with our children. Also, what you prioritize, they are taking note. So if you make sure to always get on social media, if you always make sure to respond back to other people with time or effort, they will recognize if you do not hold them to the same level of priority. As a matter of fact, our children should take first priority because they are the ones in which we are called to not only produce life or bring forth life, but also to nurture. We nurture mostly with our time and our effort. And if your children see that you put more time and effort in other areas and not themselves, they will recognize then that you have not done what they need you to do when disaster strikes in their life. So when something major comes in, I want you to imagine like a piggy bank. Every day we have the opportunity of pouring into their lives, not enabling them, but empowering them, not doing all of their chores for them, but teaching them how and loving them enough to hold them to it. And we need to make sure that what we pour into them, by the time disaster comes, you have poured enough into them already that they can recognize that you've done what needs to be taken place for them to make sure that you care enough to continue pouring into. Because one of the hardest things is we want them to tell us when there's some difficulty that has come their way. However, we haven't taken the time enough to get to know them before disaster struck. So do we respect them? Do we respect their opinion? Do we respect their feelings? It is important that we do. God says to come to him like little children. I believe God esteems children. God has spoken to me through my own children's voice. If we can learn to recognize that their opinion matters, that their voice, although they're immature, they can have an opinion that matters and that we can hold it to a level of esteem. So don't disallow your children. If your children don't like someone that you're dating, or if they don't like the person that you've married, make sure that you listen to that. If they don't like something that you're doing, listen to that and then find out if there's some truth to it. Find out. Don't disallow it just because it's not a part of truth that you're willing to have for yourself. Make sure that you listen. Train them in what you find is important. Make sure that what you're spending your time in, make sure that what you're investing in, make sure that the friendships that you carry are people that you want them to carry themselves. Because what you train them in your life as while they're under your care, they will also repeat the cycles. So make sure that you're investing in some things that are worthy of investing in. Don't cater to their weaknesses. If they have weaknesses in an area, whether they be handicapped or disabilities, don't automatically speak limitations into their life. As a matter of fact, speak greatness, speak potential in their life. For God's word says that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. And nothing is impossible to those who believe. So speak that over them. Don't disallow them. Don't say they can't do something because of such and such. Let them know they can do and work through the issues, not away from the issues. Also know them. It's important that we know them. Know their intimate details of their day. Ask them thought-provoking ideas. You know, in today's world, there's many things that try to oppose what we're trying to instill in them. Teachings of faith and teachings of honor and integrity. We want to make sure that what we're teaching them is sticking. Ask them the types of friendships that they carry at school and why do they have those friendships? What is encouraging them throughout their day and what is discouraging throughout the day? You can dispel anything in their life that is coming to try to attack them, but you won't know about it unless you ask. So ask these things. It just takes a little bit more time. It takes a little bit more effort, but it's so worth it. Ask also, make sure that we're teaching them and not dominating them. When they ask us a question, instead of saying, because I said so, it's important to go a little bit further. Make sure they know why you make the decisions that you do. They are learning, and you are their best teacher. You are their best teacher. So make sure that what you're teaching them is something you want to be repeated in their life, and not teaching them from something you learned that you're trying to get away from, but instead you're staying in the same cycle. Cycles are repeated only by repeating the same activities. But once you stop, it can be rechanged. It can be renewed. So carry on. Be the greatness inside of you. Allow the greatness to live in you, and allow the great physician to heal that which has been broken, and not allowing the cycles to continue in your life. We look forward to speaking to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.